So good afternoon again here. Um, I think without a doubt, we could say we are grateful for the opportunity because I'm speaking to you here in the UK. And interestingly, I could see that some people are from Ghana, some people are from Nigeria. I won't be surprised if other countries are also logged in. And technology has made things easy for us to share messages across. My name is Isaac Ukelege, and I am the director of Community Trust Network. We are sincerely grateful that you've given us that trust, that opportunity to showcase to you some of the things that we do. And like my colleague Chinedu did talk about, is that today we're going to be speaking to you about the possibility of working as a teacher in the United States of America. During the webinar, I will be taking you through some of the exciting opportunity, the benefits, what you stand to gain, and more importantly, of course, people ask, one of the questions people ask is that given the situation with America right now and the visa delay with America, is it possible, would this be a possibility? Again, I would be talking about that. And then lastly, I will be speaking about the process and what you need to do to continue. Okay. So what I would encourage you to do is pick up your pen, pick up a paper, and then write as many questions you have as possible. Because at the end of the presentation, there will be opportunity for you to ask questions. Okay. If there's any questions that we could not answer immediately, what we would do, because we are working with an organization, a partner in America, and if there's any questions that we cannot answer in this webinar, we will be able to go back to them and with your question and try and get the right answers for you. But one of the things that you could be sure of is that this webinar will give you as much information as possible to make that dream a reality if you are considering the possibility of becoming a teacher in the US. But of course, if it doesn't apply to you, but you still have the thoughts of traveling outside your country, then Community Trust Network will be able to discuss ways, avenues, and possibilities with you. So it is not just about working as a teacher in the US. That is the work that we do. We do other work as well. And hopefully I should be able to talk about some of those things during the course of my presentation. But after me, about one or two of our colleagues in Abuja would also be speaking to you about what other services that we offer as an organization. Okay, good. So without much ado, let's go on. So what is the overview of the webinar? Is that we'll be talking about why the US needs you to teach in their country. What are the data? And I am someone who is really bent on evidence. It is not just about hearsay, but what is the evidence that really convinces you about the chances of teaching in the US. So we'll be diving about that. We'll be talking about that. The second point we'll be talking about is that why you might want to teach in the US. What are the reasons that want to make you consider the US as a destination for your teaching profession? The fourth point is that what is the process to becoming a teacher in the US? So why, once you've made up your mind, we've seen the possibility, then the next thing is that how can we make that a reality? So what you should do, we'll talk to you about the process, and then the next question will be, what should you do? What should be the next step? How do you start the process? So this webinar would help you to answer all of those questions. As mentioned before, of course, my colleague had already mentioned it to you, but introduction to the organization. For some of you, you've known about us before. For some of you, this probably will be the first time that you are either coming in contact with us, listening to us, or coming to one of our webinars. Just to let you know, we run 2 webinars every month. So in the next 2 weeks, there will be another that will be hosted by us. And since you are with us, since you joined this webinar, that means that you are on our mailing list. So information about the next webinars will be sent to you. So we describe ourselves that we are an education and a business support organization. Why do we say so? We say so because of the different services that we perform or we provide. So you say in terms of services, of course, the top one talked about that we assist people with work opportunities. And this webinar is really talking about that, isn't it? The opportunity of becoming a teacher in the US. But one of the services that we are really popularly known about is the international student recruitment, where in the past 3-4 years that we have been in existence, we have helped loads and many students to achieve that dream of moving outside Africa to destination like the United Kingdom. In addition to that, we've also started with providing who want to do tourist visa. So if you're thinking about traveling for visit to any country, whether in Africa or outside Africa, speak to us and we should be able to provide those services for you. And in addition to that, we also provide training services. So training both here in the UK and in Nigeria, mostly for people who want to work within the health and social care environment. So these are some of the services that we provide as an organization, which is why we talked about that we describe ourselves as an education and business support organization. Good. So why would you like to, okay, why would you consider the possibility that the US needs you to teach? What are the data, what information inform that? One of the things you will notice is that there are 2 factors that will tell you. Of course, there are loads of other reasons why the US need you. But one of them, the shortage of teachers in the US. So currently, data suggests, and I will show you some of those data very soon, but data suggests that there are vacancies on field for people, for schools who are looking for teachers. Okay, so that is something that you could benefit from because there are loads of vacancies. But another thing that they're looking for is that they find that there are low numbers of teachers from the Black minority ethnicity. And they are trying to balance that. So they're looking for people who are from ethnic minority to become teachers, because you would also agree with me that students from those countries, from those ethnic minorities, would want to identify with teachers who are also from their country. Again, I did talk about our data show. So let me show you a link to one of the data that I picked up while I was preparing for this webinar. So if you look at this, this was a report that was written just recently, January 3rd, 2025. And in this, the writer, they talked about teachers shortage statistics in the US. Okay. And you would see that when you read the report, it talked about, for example, 86% of public schools struggle to hire educators.
Yeah.
51,000 teachers quit their job in the US during 2023. Okay. And 35% of teachers plan to quit in the next 2 years, even though it has improved from 44%. And currently, there are more than 36,500 teacher vacancies in the United States alone. Of the number of teachers, only 20% of the teaching workforce are that of colored. So Black and minority ethnicity. So you could see that, yes, there is a need. The US definitely need you. They need people to come and teach in their country. So this is irrespective of who is the president of the country. What is clear from that report is that there is a dire need of teachers. Loads of vacancies are available in their schools, and they really need it. And given the shortage of teachers, they know that they cannot fill those vacancies from the people in their country, which is why they are inviting people from outside their country to come to become teachers in the US. So if those vacancies are there, that means that there is a chance, there's an opportunity for you to harness. Second point of what I talked about, why you might want to teach in the US. So the first point is there is vacancy. There's no doubt about it. We've agreed, or we have seen from the data, from the information, that there is vacancy in the US. But the next point is, even though there is vacancy, is there any reason why you might want to become a teacher in the US? Again, let data tell us. So the first point is that if you apply to become a teacher in the US, you would get what is called the H-1B visa. What is the H-1B visa? It's a visa that is designed for people who want to go into education, okay, who want to work as teachers as well as educational organization. But is that all to the H-1B visa? No, because that visa gives you another major breakthrough. It gives you the possibility of becoming a US citizen after 6 years. So at the end of 6 years, you are able to apply for their green card and become a citizen of US. So you think about it, the possibility that that visa will open up to you. But apart from the visa that you get and the possibility of becoming a citizen of the country, there are also another thing, the salary. So what is the salary scale of teachers in the US? And again, like I said, I like data because data gives you enough evidence to make decisions. Remember, these are decisions that are life-changing. These are decisions that would affect you in the long term. And you don't just want to make those decisions based on emotion. You want to make those decisions based on fact, based on figures, based on evidence before you. So let's look at the salary scale of a teacher in the US. Again, I said, I am one for data. This report was published just this year, 2020. 25. So it is not old data. It's not data that was picked up 10 years ago, 20 years ago that you think, is this data still relevant? No, the data is this year. And when you look at it, it tells you. So for example, not only that, it tells you, so it gives you state by state. It tells you what the average salary is, but it also tells you the average starting salary. So if, for example, you decide to go there right now, of course, you are not going to get the average salary that the seasoned, experienced teacher would get, but you will more likely get the starting salary. Okay. And I was just thinking about it when I was looking through it. One of the things I did was not necessarily look at the very high rate. I looked at the lowest rate possible. So for example, the New York, $49,000. Connecticut, 48. Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, 46,000, 43,000, 42,000. But it gives you that they have good, decent starting salary. Again, like I said, one of the reasons why you would consider to be a teacher in the US. So apart from the fact of the H-1B visa, of course, the starting salary also gives you that. But what I also, again, I did talk about the H-1B visa, and I did say that the H-1B gives you the possibility that after 6 years, you can apply for their green card. But there are other benefits that come along with that visa. So you don't need to wait for 6 years before you start seeing those benefits. And what are those opportunities that you would get if you apply for this opportunity? First, there's a possibility of changing employer. So you are not restricted with the employer. So for example, let's assume that you are able to migrate, you're able to go there as a teacher. If you're not happy with the school that you are in, you can move to another school or institution. But also, there are other employers who are still in this sector of the H-1B visa. So if teaching is not your thing or you don't enjoy it, after you've explored all possibility, you can move into research. So it gives you the possibility. It's not like a thing where you say, okay, once you get it and for 6 years you are locked in. No, there's a possibility that you could change if you need to. Second point, imagine you going into the US and from the very first day that you arrive, you have the same benefit as a US citizen. So you have free medical services. Your children are able to access free school, just like a US citizen. So it is not just about the fact of getting good salary or the H-1B visa, it comes with other benefits as well, which I think is a factor, a reason for you to want to make that decision to migrate to the US under this scheme. Good. So the next question you would ask is, what is the process? How do you do this? Okay. We've seen why a statistics that shows to us evidence that the US definitely need teachers. The vacancies are there. You've also seen the benefit of going for the H-1B visa, or the benefit of becoming a teacher in the US. So what is stopping you? The next thing that you would like to know is, what is the process? Before we talk about the process, something just to let you know is that while they are looking for teachers, they are more particular in some areas. So what are the areas of interest that they are really keen about? Where do they want their teachers, this vacancy, loads of those vacancies, where do they exist? They exist in the same sector. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or people who are also in the special needs education. So if you have a bachelor degree in any science related subject, in any engineering field, technology field, or you are a mathematician, or you have a degree in special needs education, then the US is looking for you. They're looking for teachers just like you. And you do not need to have an education background before you can apply for this opportunity or for this scheme. All you really need is have a bachelor degree in any of this area, which even include people, maybe people who have read things like economics, accounting. Remember, those people could still go for the mathematics related area. So we've talked about the area of interest. The next point is, so what is the process? How do we start it? And the process will start with transcript evaluation. What the US has done is to say anybody and everybody can apply, but there's a benchmark. And the benchmark is that they want to look at the qualification that you have that is in line with their bachelor degree in the US. And the only way they could do that is to get your transcript and it is evaluated. So there are approved organizations who are able to do that. So once those approved organizations, so when you send your transcript to them, they would evaluate it and will be able to say, yes, looking at the qualification of this person, yes, it's equivalent to our bachelor degree certificate. But in addition to it being an equivalent of our bachelor degree, but looking at what the person has studied, the person could teach biology, the person could teach physics, the person could teach mathematics, the person could support children who have challenging behavior, special education needs, as the case may be. So once the transcript is evaluated, then you will be registered with an organization that provide what they call the ACP. And what is the ACP? The Alternative Certificate Program Scheme. And this program is meant to now train you to becoming a teacher, which is why I said you don't need to be in the education field to be able to take advantage of this scheme, because there is training for you. And part of that training is there will be the online training. So from your country, you will be able to do it. They will train you. They will train you about how you could deliver a class, okay? Your class management, your class ethics. And then at the end, you will then sit an exam. The exam is done in your country. So there are test centers that you can go to in your country that you will be able to sit for that exam. Once you've completed that exam, then you will get a certificate which enables you, or certificate of eligibility to teach in the US. The organization we work for would take you through all of these processes. They would then look at your CV and ensure that your CV is good enough to be sent for job application. They would also prepare you for job interviews. So when you receive that, once you make application, And any school invites you for job interview, which you would do online, they will guide you through on what you need to say, how you need to present yourself, how you can get those skills for you to be able to successful during your interview. Once the school gives you the so I call a job offer. I wanted to say admission. They won't give you admission. You're not a student. They will give you the job offer. Once you get a job offer, what they would then do is that they would then help you to apply for your work permit. So the work permit will come directly from the school in the US down to you. And with that work permit, you'll be able to get your visa in your country of origin. So the process is quite, in terms of people, like I said, some of the people I've spoken to say, oh, the US visa is very time consuming. They ask questions, they do this. The possibility of getting it is very slim. I said, no, but for this one, because you have already got a work permit, then they are not going to be asking you questions because those questions have already been done by the institution that is employing you. So it's not a case of trying to check whether you are a genuine candidate. Should they give you the visa? Should they not give you the visa? That is not up to the remit of the embassy or immigration staff. That would have already been done by the school. Good. So the next thing, you get a job offer, and what do you go from there? You get a job offer from the education institution. They will send you the job, the work permit, which is used to apply for the visa. You get a visa appointment, and you will receive your visa from your local embassy in your country. So why are we here? What is the position of CTN? What can CTN do for you? Once you register with us as an organization, we have an agreement with the agency in the US to supply candidates to them. So once you register with us, we will register you with that teaching agency in the US. And do remember, this they have given this to a select group of organizations. So you just cannot go to them, bypass and go to them. You will need support somewhere, which is where CTN come in. So we'll help you to register you with this teaching agency. We'll process your transcript and process the evaluation with the approved organization. So the US government has, again, given approved organization that service of doing the transcript evaluation. So you couldn't just do it from any company. So we'll register and make sure your transcript evaluation is done. Once we register you with the teaching organization, what they would do is that they would then register you for the content exam, and we will follow through. So we will be in conjunction with the teaching agency to ensure that that's online training, you are getting it, and you are preparing well and getting all the support materials for the content exam. Remember, you need to pass that ACP exam for you to move forward with this opportunity. So it is in our best interest, as well as your best interest, to make sure that you pass this exam. And we are here to try and help you to pass that exam as quickly as possible. So all help that you would need to be able to do that, we will provide it for you, and we work in conjunction with the organization in the US. In ensuring that you have a good selling CV, we will work with you and see that you have that CV. Okay, and any query between you and the teaching organization will be like a middleman to ensure that everything is going according to what is agreed between us. And we'll liaise between both of you to ensure that you get to your destination. And the destination is that you get you get your visa as soon as possible. So what are the cost implications? In total, it's going to cost you about $6,500 US. Okay, and I've put it there in the step-by-step process. So yes, the good thing is that you don't have to pay all of the money once, but if you have the money once, of course, it would be good, you could pay it. But if not, you will pay it based on the stages that we go through. So the first step you need to do, if you want to do it, is to pay our fee as well as go for the transcript evaluation. Once we've gone past there, they will register you for the ACP provider and for you to get the content exam done. Once that is done, they'll be looking at preparing you for the job interview and application process so that you can move on to your visa and be ready to depart. What are the documents that you will need? You will need the data page of your international passport. You will need your certificate, both secondary school and university. You will need your CV. You will need your transcript. But if we have those first three, then we could start the process until your transcript is released by your university or your institution. The next question is the duration of it. The duration takes about between 6 to 9 months, but it must be completed within 12 months. So you cannot do it as an ongoing thing and spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years on the process. No, it needs to be done within a year. What are some of the costs? So what are some of the costs that are not included in what I have just mentioned to you? So the cost of the visa, applying for visa, your flight ticket or any other expenses that you would incur in your flight, either from your place to the airport or from the airport to wherever you're going to. This visa allows you to take your dependents, so both your spouse as well as your children. So it doesn't cover the cost of additional family members. So you can go with your additional member, we can go with your family members, but you would have to pay an additional cost for that. You don't have to pay all of those money for it, but of course you have to pay their visa fee for each person. You have to pay flight ticket for each person, but they don't need to do transcript evaluation, ACP content exam. Of course, your spouse do not need to do that, except you choose that both of you want to be teachers when you are there. You can hasten up the process, but that will come with an additional cost if you want to. This cost also does not include accommodation or food in the US. If your transcript is not in English language, you would need to translate it to English language, and that is not included in this cost. Finally, I just want to show you a little clip of life of a teacher in the US, someone or people who have done the same thing as you are planning to do. It's probably a bit long, but what I would do is I would play it for a couple of minutes and I will pause it. If you want to watch it, go onto the internet, or I think there's a recording of this program. You can always get it from my colleague, and then you can listen to it. I just talk about the life of a teacher. Bear with me, please.
I ran a bar, so it was like the time that I was going to bed is now.
Might not even be in the time.
I ran a bar, so it was like the time that I was going to bed is now the time.
Can you hear it? Can you give me a word if you can hear it, please?
Yes, we can hear it.
Good, great.
Time did I get up in the morning? I quite like being a morning person. She says now. Wait until I get to Friday, I don't like it anymore.
Said very quick. Okay.
What are they asking you to do? What is it talking about? Gajan. Gajan.
You don't get used to it either.
Their improvement in year one, you notice, is like amazing because they'll go from like very beginnings of stuff and then they just improve so quickly. So there's a lot of like satisfaction in that, I think.
I went to secondary school in Dagenham. At the time, I didn't think it was necessarily a terrible school, but according to statistics, it was. My teachers were really amazing. They were so invested in me as a person, and I always remember that in that team of teachers around me who cared.
Wow! Superworm! Superworm is super strong. Show me strong.
I didn't go to university till I was 25 because I didn't think that I was capable of going to university. At school, I just did not think I was capable. And I think that's probably why I was so interested in maybe doing teaching, is that every child is capable. And it would be really nice to have that effect on someone that had an experience like mine, to be like, no, you are good. You can do this, like, carry on.
Getting a job in management in a tuition centre, actually. And then obviously when I'm in the school, I'm seeing teachers talking about their students. There's so much light and positivity, and just sometimes they come into my office and they're just talking to me about this student did this today and it was so amazing. And it took me a while to identify, but I realised I was jealous.
I first really thought about teaching during my university experience. I worked as a STEM ambassador. I was then suggesting we work with the local schools. It was probably the easiest job I ever had. I really found that I was enjoying working with the students. We were working with some deprived areas in Brighton. And I got suggested that maybe I should look into teach first because the core principles overlap.
Okay, there is a secret answer that we need to try.
Focus of Teach First is being put into disadvantaged schools and trying to enact change there. A child's experience is only the teacher in front of them, and I think for me, I want to be that teacher in front of them, that if somebody else comes to them and says, you went to a disadvantaged school, they'll be like, well, not really. My teachers were amazing, so how could I be disadvantaged? First lesson was my year 10s, and it was just a welcome lesson, but I planned it like down to the moment they lined up outside, planned it the way I was taught in Summer Institute, which was helpful, so I didn't feel like I was completely out of control of what was going on.
The hardest part.
Okay, sorry to be that. And again, like I mentioned, you can watch more of it if you are interested, either from our recording or you could check on it on the internet. But I think one of the senses I felt when watching that is that you could make a difference in people's life. So as a teacher, it is not just about the fact that it gives you a salary or the opportunity it gives to you, but most people who go into teaching, they do that because it gives them the opportunity to make impact in children's life. And think about when you were in school, you still remember some of those your lovely teachers who made things so easy for you. And you look up to them, that whoever you become today was because of the impact that they have on you. So that is it. I put here that the next step, if you are interested, is that you can contact us. Of course, we have offices in the UK. The UK contact phone numbers are there if you are listening or you have someone in the UK that you want to talk to. We are also in Abuja, and we have our Abuja office. We're also in Ghana, and I put our phone number in Ghana to reach out to. If you want to send emails, it's info@communitytrustnetworkng.com, or go to our website, which is www.communitytrustnetworkng.com. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and most other social media platforms. So again, connect to us. And I'm sure my colleague will be happy to send you email marketing, text messages, WhatsApp, set up groups, and different things that we can do with you. Finally, any questions? This is your time to ask any questions if you do have them. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to hearing any of your questions. Over to you, Chinedu.
All right, thank you very much, sir. That was quite an insightful session. If you're just joining us, this is the Work as a Teacher in the USA webinar. Please, if you have a question, just indicate by raising your hands and we will unmute you. Okay, I already see Mikel Okoleze, so we would have you ask your question now. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. I don't know if you can hear me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mikel. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Okay, thank you for the wonderful seminar webinar. It's a great one. Thank you so much, and thanks to your organization. I want to find out one. I listened keenly to the speaker. He said many teachers, according to data, many teachers are quitting the teaching job in the US, and many more are expected to quit. He gave data of those who have already quitted, according to the statistics, and those who are also expected to quit. Should it be that the teaching job in the US is very hostile? Why are they quitting? Very high statistics is quitting, and very high statistics is expected to quit within a specified number of according to the data he gave to us there. That's number one. So I want to know why, so that we'll know what we're getting into.
I thought you said, okay, so when you, of course, I quoted that, and you probably say, but why, if I'm encouraging people to go into teaching, why would I give you that sort of information? Does it mean, just like you say, does it mean that it is a very hostile one? I don't think teaching is for everybody. Okay, teaching is not for everybody. And why is it not for everybody? Because you are managing people's behavior. So if you go there with the view of, I'll just go there and earn money, no. It is a job that demands that you have to read every day. It's a job that also requires you to be in front of children. And why, yes, you might be the person that those children look up to, but you are also a source of refuge for them. So some of the children, they are from broken home. Some of the children come from homes that are challenging. And you as the teacher, unfortunately, you are the person that they see Monday through Friday. So you would have to be able to deal with those things. And so there's the good part of it. There's also the bad part of it. I won't say the bad part, I would say rather the challenging part of it. So yes, teaching is a profession. As much as it is rated very high, it's also a challenging environment. So if you want to become a teacher, don't just become a teacher because it's an avenue for you to migrate to the US. Go as a teacher because you also love it. It's almost like the healthcare sector that people go into. The healthcare sector, yes, it provides you an opportunity to migrate, but it's also an environment that is also challenging. If you look at just the challenge, then you will not become it. but you need to look at the composite part of it, the good as well as the bad, or the challenge as well as the benefits. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that's a fair one, sir. That's a fair one. Then, in addition to that, I've actually attended a number of webinar on this teaching. I'm a teacher. I did education. I'm actually in my office right now too. So I'm not thinking about teaching. I'm a teacher. I did education, first and second degree, and I've been into teaching for the past 16 years. I'm still doing it. I'm proud of it, enjoying it the way we're doing it in Nigeria, for the glory of God. Now, when I was listening to the webinar, you mentioned that if someone comes in, the person might not be paid as a seasoned teacher, like in the US. And I'm wondering why someone like me is not a seasoned teacher if I get there, because I am a seasoned teacher. I have TRCN, I have a bachelor degree in education, I have a master's in education. So why would I be taking and I wouldn't be a seasoned teacher? I wrote that down. Is it part of taking at the blast and not qualified to do something good or what? I want to clarify that. Then lastly, so that I will not take too much of your time, it does appear that yes, your pay is high, because I got like 6,500 US dollars. That's a lot of money when converted to our current rate. Yes, and I still got the bit by bit cut of it. Yes, but $2,500 is still quite a big money to an average Nigerian. So I don't know how you may be able to moderate your pay. Then finally, why don't people have a US office? Talking about teachers going to US, but you have a UK office, have a Ghana office, have a Nigeria office. There's no US office. It's not adding very much up to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me take. So you talked about. Let me take the first one. You talked about that with your experience. Why will you not be a seasoned teacher? Of course, you are just talking about yourself. While I was speaking, I was talking about the generality of people. So when people come on this program, they do not need to be teachers. They just need to have a bachelor degree. So for that sort of person, is not as seasoned as you. Okay, but even then, of course, one of the things that I share, so you would notice I am Nigerian, even though I've lived better part of my life up to, I think I'm going to 30 years in the UK. But I did my primary, secondary school and university in Nigeria. If I want to move back from the UK to Nigeria, there is no way that my knowledge of Nigeria will be as good as yours. Okay, so the same way, if you come from Nigeria to the UK, there's no way that your knowledge of it will be as mine. So it is not just about a case of one race is better than another or one color is better than another. It is also, yes, you might be a teacher, but the teaching in your country will be slightly different in the other country. When you have that qualification, so they could start you, so for example, they could start on a particular rate. If they see that you are good, and this is what I tell even my staff in the office always, and I give an example of a football team. If you are a player and you are good, before your contract will run out, the club would negotiate the extension of your contract. If you are not good, if you tell them to say, let's negotiate, they will say, no, we don't negotiate. You can go on free transfer. What am I saying? It is about your ability. If you deliver, yes, they will pay you as competitively as any other person. But it's about your ability. The other point you talked about is our fees. Yes, our fees might, depending on where you look at them from, they might not appeal to the average person. but it's about can we do it? Can you trust us to do it? And yes, if we can do it, if you start putting a price to it, then you might not want to. Okay, and it might not be. I'm not in competition with another organization. I'm in competition with myself, which means that if you are going to give me £1 of your money, $1 of your money, £1 of your money, it is, I have calculated it to say, this is what I'm going to do for you. And can I do it whether rain or shine? Okay, it might not be for everybody, but it is what we can. And finally, you talked about to say, why don't we have offices in the US? We don't need to have offices in the US. Remember that we, like, if you see from this slide at the beginning of the slide, I did say this is just one of the services that we provide. So imagine we recruit. So one of the services that we provide is recruit students to different countries in the world. Imagine having offices in each country that you recruit students in. I wish I have as much money as that. Unfortunately, we don't have that money. So yes, right now, we don't have offices in the US. That doesn't mean that we are a scam organization. I am based in the UK. Yes, we have offices in Nigeria, in Abuja, and we show people where our offices is. We have offices in Ghana because those are two countries that I have passion for, and those are countries that I know I can relate to. Tomorrow we might have an office in America. I never know. It's something that we can pray for. I hope it answers your questions. Okay. Thank you, Michael. Sunday, you raise your hand.
Afternoon, sir. Yeah, can I have, I'm very sorry, when you were trying to dish out the fee, I was not around. I was trying to attend to my boss. I was in the office. Can I have a breakdown again, like brief?
So I think the fee is $6,500 US, all put together. The start, you need to pay $2,500 US. But my colleagues are able to send you. So if you send your email address if you can send it on the chat, my colleagues will send you a breakdown of that.
Okay, I will.
Thank you, Sunday. Prince, you raise your hand.
Okay, thank you very much. So during your delivery, you said one cannot do the process by himself since the person will be needing an organization in aiding in the process of working as a teacher in the US. So is it a guarantee one will pass the exams and get the job offer?
Okay, so let's start here. You don't need CTN to do it, but you need to work with organizations in the US to do it. So you couldn't just do the process because that exam, you need to take that exam. You need to do your transcript evaluation from recognized organizations. So you need to do that. Or you need to also do the exam from recognized body, and you need to prepare for those exams. So you will need an organization to do it. I think what CTN does for you is to bring the two of you together and make it as seamless as possible. In terms of, is it a guarantee? Always there's, I would say, is that yes, there is guarantee, but also, yes, there is no guarantee. And you probably ask me, how can the two be together? Let's assume that something costs £5 and I go and buy it for £5. Okay, because it costs £5, I've paid £5, then I'm expected to receive that. But in this case, there is a process. And what is the process? One, you must meet those criteria. We will prepare you to meet those criteria. If you fail to meet those criteria, then you couldn't say, oh, that doesn't mean there's no guarantee. For example, we'll prepare you for the exam. You need to also do your part. You need to read for the exam. So if you don't read for the exam and you just say, oh, because you've paid for it, and unfortunately, the younger generation, that is one of the mindset that they have. Rather than read for it, they will say, okay, I pay for it. No, it is not about you pay for it. You need to study for it. Once you've also studied for it, when it comes to the day of, you need to do your CV. Remember, these people are going to employ you based on your CV. So your CV need to be as appealing as possible. Okay, your CV needs to be as appealing as possible. And when you have that opportunity to be in front of the school or the education institution, you should be able to sell yourself to say that, to give them enough confidence for them to employ you. So is it a guarantee? The guarantee is that we will do all of these processes for you. But the second part of that guarantee is that you need to also play your part. Once these two come together, yes, you will be in the US in no time. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other person? Any other question? Okay. While you are thinking of your question, I'll pass it on back to my colleague. Chinedu, you can take over.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. That Q&A session was also quite insightful. I don't know, please, if you're camera shy and you don't want to be seen on the cameras, please simply just type in your questions into the chat part so we can address your question. Right now, our manager, Mr. Jude Osita, is just going to do a brief of other services. Okay, I see Deborah Ibeka raising her hand. So just go ahead with your question.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I already sent in my question, but I'd ask again. My question is, as a graduate of English and education, I didn't see my subject or what I do as one of the subjects that is needed in the US. I see science, I see technology, I see engineering, but I didn't see maybe teaching of language and English in particular. So I didn't see that as one of the subjects. I'm asking is, do I have any hope? Is there any viability for me over there as a teacher? And again, I'd like to ask, can I get details of this meeting as a mail so I could go through it when I'm less busy? And for the payment, I'd like to ask again, what does it cover? What does it cover? The training sessions? Does it cover the processing of the other documents that is needed? Whatever I've forgotten all the things you mentioned earlier. Does it cover all of that? I'd like to know if it does. And is there 100% guarantee that after I pass the examination, that I'll get a job offer? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. You speak well as an English teacher. So based on the information provided, there are more opportunities for people who are in the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, plus the special need education. But I'm happy if you can make contact with us. So if you send me your CV, I'm happy to go back to the organization to say, look, this is a candidate we have. She is not in this area that you've mentioned, but she's willing and she wants to undertake the process. What is the guarantee there? Whatever they provide to me, I'm happy to come back to you and give you that feedback. But of course, when they talk about that teachers in STEM, I don't think that they will not take any other one. What is probably mean is that there are more chances for people who are in sciences, who are in engineering, as compared to other subjects. So I would say send us your CV and we can present it to them. I will come back to you. So we'll deal on it on a case-by-case basis. The second question you asked is, what does the fee cover? So if I just, what I'll do is maybe if I share my slide again to try and come back to you. What we did say, I hope you can see my screen. What we did say is that that for what you pay for, it covers all of the processes. So for example, from your transcript evaluation to registering with the AC provider, for the training that you would receive from them, for registering you for the content exam, for getting the certificate of eligibility, for preparing you job offer, doing your CV, they're preparing you for interview process, all of that will be involved in up to the point of you getting the work permit. All of those ones are covered. The only thing that is not covered, which is what I did talk about, is that you will still need to pay for the visa fee. But visa fee is not a lot. You will pay for your flight tickets and then you will pay for your accommodation when you arrive in the US. I hope that covers that. Then the last question you asked is, what is the guarantee? I think in terms of the guarantee, just as I spoke to the other person about the two processes of guarantee, one thing that we also have done is that, so rather than you pay the full money up front, we have done it so that you pay stage by stage. So you could see, if, for example, you pay the first stage and you are not happy with the service that we have provided in the first stage, then you can say, no, I'm reviewing my relationship with you as an organization. I don't want to take it further. There is sort of a contract, an agreement that we come into, which will stipulate what we expect from you and what you expect from us. Okay, so to an extent, that is a guarantee to say we don't just want your money, we want you to be happy with the process. Okay, and in each of the services that we provide, I often would tell people to say, it is not a case of you've given me your money and I will go and bring the visa for you. It is not like that. You must be involved throughout the process. Okay, you must be involved. So when we do your transcript evaluation, the evaluation will be sent back to you. It's not just to us, it will be sent back to you. When we register you with the ACP provider, you will see the details of the registration. You will be the person who will partake of that training, and you will see the material that are prepared. And if, for example, before you write the exam, just, of course, you are a teacher, so you know this, you would see whether the materials provided because are good enough for the exam, because you would have also would have seen past papers. What is the exam going to be likely about? Again, if you are not happy, that is one point that you can talk to them so that we can speak to them to say, what you promise these people, you are not delivering. Okay, so each step, there are certain things that must be done by us, but also by you. So in terms of a guarantee, I would also always say the guarantee is dependent on both of us, not just you sit down and it will come to your table. It's not going to come on your table. I hope that answers your question. Okay. I think there's a question from, is it?
Yes, it does, sir. Thank you.
Okay. There's a question from
I said yes.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Thank you. There's a question from, is it Temilola or someone who said, are there chances for early year educators in the application? Yes, because the early educators are closely linked to the special need education. Yes, if you have that, there's a chance for you as well. Okay. Over to you, Chinedu.
Okay, so sir, there is one more question in the chat box. It says, are there chances for early educators? I believe it's the person is still early as a teacher, probably a starter, maybe 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. So he or she is asking if there are chances for them in this program, sir.
Yes, so the early educators tend to be people who deal with children, usually children in nursery school, or they could go slightly up to the first or second year of the primary school education. And like I said before, yes, there is opportunity for those people. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. So please keep the questions coming while our manager is just going to talk briefly about our services. It's not going to be more than 5 to 10 minutes. So while this is going on, if you have more questions for us, even if it's related to the work as a teacher in the USA program, feel free to do that in the chat box or probably raise your hands when it's the Q&A time with him. So stay tuned. Our manager is going to take over now. Thank you.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, our CEO, for this wonderful webinar and bringing a more light into the program. So Community Trust Network, just as our CEO has said, we are located in Abuja, Delta, and also in Ghana. So if you're looking out for if you have any of a subject who is interested to write English proficiency exam, like the IELTS, we provide training for that. Our training is online 3 times a week. So you will make out time for you to join for this training and prepare yourself. And also we provide healthcare trainings as well. The healthcare training, we have 2 versions of it. We have the one that you travel down to the UK for you to become a carer. It's a 9-month program, and the healthcare training provided by Community Trust Network itself, including the leadership and management, or also the diploma level 2 down to, I think, up to level 5 training. We do that here at Community Trust Network. And just to buttress more, after this training, we are not leaving you there. We're going to provide you with a reference letter. If you're seeking out for a job, Community Trust Network will provide those reference letter for you. And going further, the services we do is tourism, and we provide tourism and excursion to secondary schools. If you have any firm, any group looking out to travel, is it to Europe? Or yes, UK is part of the Europe. Or what I'm talking about is the Schengen zone. You want to go there for your excursion or tourism, just a group tourism, CTN also are involved in that. And to talk about the teachers route to the US, if you look at an information from the United States Department on May 27th, talking about a halt on the student visa, that they want to restructure their system. They said that they will put in a pause for that. So it's an opportunity for them to use this program. It's an opportunity for you this program to travel to the US instead of you focusing more on students. Now the US is holding that student application. For those who have already secured an appointment for interview, you can go ahead with your appointment. You will not be affected. But if you've not done that, you need to stop there. Don't book for your appointment. Don't go further for that appointment because nobody is going to attend to you. So I want to share the update for you to just look at it and see. Yeah, so this is the update from the United States Department that they will put in a pause, just a temporary pause for new student visas. So with Community Trust Network, we are telling you to stay positive with us and stay prepared. So thank you all. While I hand over back to Chinedu to take some questions again from our participants today, we are still here. If you have more questions, please drop your questions and we are ready to provide answers to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. While he was talking, somebody said he or she just joined and it was because of network issue and is asking how somebody can qualify. I think that means you would be taking us back to starting the webinar entirely. But yes, you do qualify for this program and we can only say you should drop your email here. So we are going to send the recording so you get to see that letter. Our time is fast spent, so I'm sorry, we don't know if our CEO just wants to say one or two things to this question, or I should just proceed, sir. Okay, thank you very much, sir. So you would get the recording.
I can just answer, sorry, Janet, I could just answer this person who said that he studied BSc Mathematics, had a NARIC certificate. Of course, NARIC is for the UK, so it's not required in the US. But the fact that you studied BSc Mathematics, it means that you qualify. So Chinedu and his team, they will send you the information about how you can go through the process. And if you're happy, we can get it started. Okay, but you do qualify because that is, you study mathematics.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So just briefly on my screen, I'm going to share you our contact details at CTN. So in case we are actually located at number 9, flat 2, Kwali Close, off Ilorin Street, area 8, Gariki, Abuja. And on our screen now is our social media should I say contact, sorry. And then our email address, our website, you can go to see for yourself. And of course, our manager talked about a number of services that we render. And then, yes, while we are a platform that is out there to help people, if there is a colleague of yours or probably a friend, or you know someone very much interested in the services that we render, right? But you want to earn something when you refer them to us, we do that too. And let's say you refer someone going to the US to study, you get a $150 bonus from us after they must have traveled. But when they enroll, you get 50,000 naira from us. So on your screen, you can see everything, some of the services that we offer, like our manager has talked about. In case you don't also want to travel you don't want to work as a teacher, but you're looking at studying in Eastern Europe, you can see that. You can check our social media contacts for all these. And of course, we just talked about working in the USA as a teacher and that. So I think that's all. I don't know, our team members here, you're going to have to meet them briefly. You already met our CEO. You already met me. I am Chinedu and I'm a digital marketer. You already met our manager, Mr. Glebe. And I think we should have one more person, our student consultant, Stephanie. So you want to say something to them?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Ogbeni. I'm the Student Counselor of Community Trust Network, and it's a pleasure meeting all you all here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thanks,
So,
Stephanie.
at any time you're free, you can come visit us at number 9, flat 2, Pali Close off Ilorin Street, area 8, Gariki, Abuja. And we will attend to you. Our office is always open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Mondays to Fridays. So feel free to come if you're not living in Abuja and probably you have a contact in Abuja, send them to come over here and we can attend to them. So I think that brings us to a wrap. Thank you very much, and we look forward to discussing your study abroad plans or work abroad plans with you after this webinar. Thank you very much. We'll see you during our next webinar. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
See you soon.
Yeah, bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Chairman.
Bye.